Appreciate that.
Real quick, Godless wanted to. I guess she watched your thing with Shannon and she enjoyed your conversation, so she actually wanted to come in and give you some props. Sye Ten B. So Godless, did you want to?
Yeah, is my mic okay?
Yep, great.
Yeah, I love pre-suppers. I mean, I'm an atheist and I agree with the argument, but I think that they crush almost every atheist they come across. And atheists get so dishonest. I was watching the argument with Shannon and like arguing with the atheists in the live chat. They thought Shannon was winning. It's like crazy. I love the debate with Dillahunty. Dillahunty's such a clown. Sye crushed him. And my favorite thing with Sye though was on the Magic Sandwich show when him and Eric Hovind talked to Thunderfoot and Aronra. I was like, what? These look at this group of
Magic Sandwich show.
Scientists. They don't know. They don't even understand the argument. They're like, they don't know any philosophy. And Aronra was just like, Sye Ten's like, how do you know your reasoning is reliable, Aaron? And he's just like, Aronra was just screaming so loud that his mic was cutting out. And Sye Ten's like, how do you know that? How do you know that Aaron? Well, Eric Hovind was laughing. It was awesome.
Godless Aaron. It's Aaron. By the way, Aronra. Going back a few years of the Magic Sandwich show. And by the way, I've known Godless for a very long time, and I haven't listened to. I told Sye and I told Shannon I haven't listened to the discussion yet. I plan to. I listened for bits and pieces, and I was watching some of the live chat for a while. So I can't really weigh in on who did had a good discussion. I find Sye to be logically consistent for the most part. I mean, from his perspective, I think there's an internal consistency. I just think overall it's a bad argument. Does that make sense?
It makes sense to me in the sense that what I'm hearing is, yes, Sye is very consistent. He's also trying to be complete. And I'm going to appeal to Gödel here, which a lot of people will get on my back for. But you cannot have consistency and completeness in the same logical system, because that leads to contradictions. And yeah, I know contradictions can be true. And no.
Are you pulling a Gödel's incompleteness theorem thing on us?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
And I know that people will tell me it's out of place.
That's
but
okay.
there are parallels.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Can I ask a quick question though? So God knows all true propositions. So God has justification for all true propositions. So how does God like justify things like the laws of logic without begging the question?
Yeah, the thing is, I don't know if you were listening earlier, but I don't believe technically that the laws of logic exist. So what the laws of logic are, actually, it's a description of the thinking of God, which makes it prescriptive for us. So God does not have to justify some kind of external laws. God is logical because it's based on his thinking. So it's not something.
But how does God know that his thinking corresponds to reality? And the laws of logic being true is a proposition, right?
I do not know how God knows anything.
Yeah, that wouldn't be divine.
Does he have justification for it though?
Yeah.
Well,
are you asking?
His justification is in the virtue that he is God, and that's sufficient.
Right.
He doesn't require justification. If God required justification outside of him, then he wouldn't be God.
That's why it's circular, though, right?
Yeah. So how does God know that it's true? The proposition.
I do not know how God knows anything. See, because the thing is, God is both outside of time and in time, and I can't even conceive of what anything, knowledge, decisions, or anything like that to a being that is outside of time. That's way beyond my pay scale. But
his belief that the law of non-contradiction is true, that's a proposition. If he knows it, then that's a justified true belief by your definition. So he must have justification for it. And I think it's impossible for him to justify it without begging the question.
Well, I wouldn't call it begging the question. I would say, again, that would be a virtuous circle, that God starts with his own authority. And, throughout Scripture, that's the case. He testifies by himself. Because he is that authority. So yeah, I don't see the problem there. I think it's an interest, but I want to thank you, by the way, for what you said. I mean, I saw you in the chat getting attacked for even saying something like that. There's a very few atheists, in fact, that I would believe are more honest, with regards to the discussions that I've had. Of course, they're going to disagree with me on that. But when they even posit that the discussion went a different way than they think it did, then they get attacked. And so I really appreciate, first of all, what you said, and the fact that you're bold enough to say it. So I want to thank you for that.
I've actually probably had more atheists come after me than theists in my experience.